I mean, I'm surprised that y'all talked 2 weeks before. This, to me, I'm like, okay, there must have been some tension leading up to it. Like, y'all must have been on bad terms, something. One last question. If he were to call you up and say, yo, let's work it out, would you do it?
I don't want to talk to that nigga.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to talk to that nigga, like, you know.
Happen real ones and fake ones, for real. Now here's where it gets spicy. When Dredd first met YoungBoy, he could immediately tell something was off about his energy. Game recognized game, and Dredd wasn't recognizing no game from YB. In his own words, he said, I didn't like his vibes either, when YoungBoy's manager said YB didn't like Dredd's vibes. But here's the kicker. Dredd looked YoungBoy dead in his face and told him, I never worked for a kid before. Called him a straight up kid, no hesitation, no fear, nothing. Think about that for a second, gang. This man who's supposedly this hardcore street dude from Louisiana got called a kid by his own security guard. And what did he do? Nothing. Because deep down, YB knows he ain't really about that life like he pretends to be online. Dredd saw right through the act and wasn't having none of it. But let's talk about how YoungBoy really moves when he thinks nobody's watching. This dude has serious anger management issues, and I'm not even being funny about it. His own homies are walking on eggshells around him 24/7 because they know one wrong move and they getting cut off completely. These grown men are scared to death of making him mad because they know if YB gets in his feelings, he's sending them right back to the hood where they came from, broke as hell. And yo, the level of control this dude has over his friends is actually disturbing. We got NBA Herm, one of his closest homies, literally tying YoungBoy's shoes for him like he's some kind of personal servant. This grown man is on his knees tying another grown man's shoes and then holding umbrellas over his head like he's royalty or something. That ain't friendship. That's straight up weird power dynamics, lil bro. The psychological manipulation runs deeper than just the shoe tying situation though. When you really analyze what's happening, YoungBoy has created this environment where his friends are completely dependent on him financially and emotionally. They can't speak up, they can't have opinions, and they definitely can't challenge him on anything. That's textbook manipulation tactics right there, not boss behavior. DJ Academics even confirmed this type of behavior when he went to YoungBoy's house. He witnessed YB literally slapping his friends in front of company for acting out of place. These are supposed to be his day ones, his ride or dies, and he's putting hands on them like they're children. That's not gangster behavior. That's insecure behavior from someone who needs to feel powerful because deep down, they know they ain't really about that action. The rumors get even crazier, fam. Word on the street is that YoungBoy will starve his homies if they make him mad, like he's running some kind of twisted punishment system. Lil Dump posted a picture with a bloody lip, and fans immediately started speculating that YB did that to him for not listening. Whether that's true or not, the fact that people automatically assume YoungBoy would do something like that tells you everything about his reputation behind closed doors. What makes this situation even more wild is understanding Samson Dredd's background and why his opinion carries so much weight. This man didn't just grow up in some regular neighborhood. He was in the Virgin Islands where the street politics are completely different. Island street life hits different because you can't just run to the next city when things get hot. You either handle your business or you don't survive, period. Dredd explained how there are 3 types of security guards in the industry. Street guys, military guys, and off-duty cops. Each brings something different to the table. But he emphasized that street guys like himself understand the game on a level that can't be taught. When you've actually lived through shootouts, drug deals gone wrong, and real territorial disputes, you develop an instinct for reading people that's unmatched. Now back to Samson Dredd. This man has worked with real bosses and real street dudes. So when he met YoungBoy, the difference was obvious. Dredd said his father was a real boss back in the islands, so he knows how authentic power moves. He said a lot of these rappers talk that stuff, but they ain't about that stuff, and he was clearly talking about YB. The contrast becomes even more apparent when you look at how Dredd described working with other artists. Take Moneybagg Yo, for example. Dredd said he was dope and a good guy who he respected and would work with again. That's how real recognizes real. When you're authentic, other authentic people gravitate toward you and want to do business with you. Even with Sexy Red, who some people might think would be difficult to work with, Dredd praised her for being humble and keeping things professional. He said she's entertaining but knows how to turn it off when the cameras aren't rolling. That's the mark of someone who's comfortable with themselves and doesn't need to perform 24/7 to feel validated. Megan Thee Stallion got similar praise from Dredd. He said she's about business. Showtime, then back to the hotel. No dragging security around for unnecessary trips, no power games, just professional work relationships. These artists understand that security is a business. Real killers who were more humble and respectful than YB. What's really telling is how YoungBoy reacted to having someone around who wasn't intimidated by his act. When you're used to everyone being scared of you and walking on eggshells, meeting someone who sees right through your facade is uncomfortable. Dredd wasn't impressed by the money, the fame, or the tough guy persona. He'd seen real street credibility, and YoungBoy wasn't it. The age factor also played a role in this dynamic. Dredd specifically mentioned never working for a kid before, and that wasn't just about YoungBoy's physical age. It was about his maturity level and how he handles conflict. Real street veterans know that emotional regulation is crucial for survival. If you're constantly flying off the handle and making impulsive decisions, you won't last long in any dangerous environment. This whole situation exposes the difference between internet gangsters and real street dudes. YoungBoy built his whole brand on this image of being this untouchable, dangerous person, but when real danger walked in the room, his true colors showed. He couldn't handle being around someone who had actually lived the life he only raps about. The psychological aspect of this dynamic is fascinating too. YoungBoy's need to control and intimidate his friends stems from deep insecurity about his own authenticity. When you know you're not really about that life, you overcompensate by being extra aggressive with people who can't fight back. It's classic bully behavior disguised as gangster mentality. Conclusion. At the end of the day, this whole situation with Samson Dredd exposed NBA YoungBoy for what he really is. A talented rapper with serious anger issues who uses fear and money to control the people around him. When real street credentials walked through the door, his fake gangster persona couldn't hold up under scrutiny. Dredd saw right through the act and wasn't afraid to call it out, which is probably why the working relationship ended so quickly. The way YB treats his friends, the power trips, the need to physically dominate people who depend on him financially, none of that screams real boss energy. That screams insecurity and fake toughness. Real gangsters don't need to prove themselves by bullying their own people or putting on performances for the internet. Samson Dredd walked away from that situation with his dignity intact, while YoungBoy lost credibility with someone who actually knows what real street life looks like. Sometimes the truth hurts, but it needed to be said. NBA YoungBoy might be successful in music, but when it comes to being authentic about that street life he raps about, he got exposed by someone who's actually lived it.